number 2 of the iPhone eSIM video, and on this particular video I'm going to show the history aspect of iPhone doing things that were aligned with Satanism, that were aligned with almost devil worship, you could almost say, because these things that iPhone was doing, they were aligned with certain agendas that were contrary to God. And so on the first episode, I highlighted the technology. And so that's what I wanted to focus on, to say, later on, we might all have phones that just don't have SIM cards, okay? So it's not the SIM card idea or eSIM, it's not the Antichrist system, okay? The eSIM itself is not the Antichrist system, but going non-physical, going to things that are no longer tangible to, you understand, to things that are kind of embedded into the system, is that the technology that's been implemented is the kind that the Antichrist will need to have his goal. If you bought an iPhone, relax. We're just talking about the technology that's implemented over there. We're talking about the history of the company. Now, let's go back to iPhone technology in the beginning, okay? iPhone, when it launched, what did the logo look like? Okay? I mean, like, this is the core of the values of the company. How did they push themselves out there? And guess what that logo looked like? This is what the thing looked like. The thing looked it looked like it was just taking off from the Bible, because you see the font that they are using. It mimics the 1611 King James Bible. It goes back into that era, that 1611 King James, and so they mimic that that format of drawing, writing, and all that kind of stuff. Apple technology came up with this logo that looked like one of the biggest first Bibles to be printed. Note that. And number 2, their logo was always had the emphasis around an apple, and almost took it back into the garden. As a matter of fact, there was an advert that actually implied that it got the inspiration from the Adam and Eve. So
obviously use this computer. The iPhone is 1,000 times faster, but power isn't what drives price in this case. This is a piece of history. Expected to sell for as much as $180,000, which is a far cry from the $666.66 it sold for back in 1976. Now, Apple's co-founder, Steve Wozniak, has said this price has nothing to do with the devil. It's just repeating digits are easier to type.
So already you are seeing a company taking the initiative of taking inspiration from the fall of man for the benefit or the idea of inspiration. Not that Apple itself is inspired by the devil. Later on, Apple then changed that logo of Apple technology. They changed it from that 1611 look. They changed it to a flag, you know, to represent the flag thing that was going on, what is it, 70s, 80s, whatever, when there was the whole sexual revolution going on. They chose not just the vocal aspects of it, they chose the flag on that other side. Very interesting. So that's number 3 right there. You have Apple technology siding with the opposite route of thing. So first, they have a logo that represents almost like the first Bible printing. And then second, you have them taking the idea of the apple, an inspiration of the apple, in order to represent what the company stands for. And then you have them siding with the flag. Okay? They then changed that flag. Okay? They changed the flag. And now, Apple technology, as time progressed, or as time moved forward, they started moving forward towards this idea of embracing the technology that the Antichrist will take on, or the image of what the Antichrist will embrace. When we made the first episode, I only highlighted, but as time went on, I thought that's when I actually put part 1 on that one. So I thought, you know what, let's put the history so that people can see it's not one thing. It's not like they did the eSIM thing. No, they've had these other 3-4 things that they've been doing before, where the initial inspiration of the logo, the siding of the agenda with flag people over them, taking inspiration from the Garden of Eden to talk about their entire technology, the idea of inspiration of ideas, think differently, the idea of thinking differently. And if you are to apply that theme or that motto, think differently, to the flag logo, think differently from what? Think differently from the Bible. If you are to approach the idea of the apple, think differently. So think differently about what information you are getting. So think differently from who's inspiring you. Clearly she was inspired by the devil, so think differently about that. You can see where it goes. Trick Reality Show. Yeah, tell me what you think about that one. I thought it was an interesting one to kind of point out, because some people might actually forget these things, but hey, we need to keep these things in check so that people are aware. When it's out there, this is what it is. It's Ricky, and I'll see you on a later on. I hope this video does find you. What other videos done, to leave them down in the pin comments, and I'll see you on a later on. Yeah, I'll be blessed. Salute before I go back into load shedding, because I'm offline 10 hours a day now. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. But